We are Chris Lee and Blake Lovell of Southeastern 14 here to bring you power rankings heading into the last weekend of the regular season. And boy, God help us as we try to sort these out because Blake, there were some decisions to be made, and they were not made on strengths.
All right. Speaking of not made on strings, let's just
you had
start
a
going
week
through
off.
these.
You had a week off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know what else you say. The bottom part here, beyond number 7, the bottom half of this league is a mess to sort through right now. So,
And there's some top half teams that they're not real happy with the way they're playing either. So Vandy at 14 didn't play, wouldn't have mattered. Number 13 is
Mississippi State. I mean, like we said, I think it's at this point you're looking at teams who are trying to reset and move forward into next season. And yeah, I mean, I think Blaine said it in the morning report. It looked like Mississippi State was a little maybe more loose, and the game against Southern Miss and all that. Of course, it helps in terms of who you have on the field. But yeah, I mean, it's something, right? Hey, it's a win, and you move forward trying to figure out what the program's going to look like. So
number 12, or excuse me, number 13 is, I think I know,
Mississippi State. We just went them. Number 12.
No, I
You
said
were right
12.
the first time. No, you said then you went back to 13. We're going to go back to Mississippi State.
We're going backwards here in the power rankings. That's
it's
just kind of a sign of the times, isn't it?
Suspenseful.
Unintentional truth.
Arkansas is 12.
Yeah. And I know State beat them head to head, but you can't always go with that. I think Arkansas is a better team. For that's worth. Sam Pittman gets another year. Hooray.
Arkansas has recently won by 3 in overtime at Florida and then, lost by 38 at home against Auburn. So, and they beat FIU. So, hey, that's where we are. Like, I mean, this is week 13 power. This is the final week of the regular season power rankings. This is like that point where teams like this that have just had disappointing seasons. Hey, look ahead, fans. Just try to be optimistic moving forward. So, speaking of optimism, boy, number 11 team here had plenty of that before they got beat 31-10 by New Mexico State.
All right, let's say something nice about Auburn. I don't think New Mexico State is as bad as
I don't
people
either.
think. It's an 8-3 team with a good quarterback, but my goodness, you got dominant. I mean, look, that kind of says the state of things. If we are telling Auburn fans, hey, that loss, it wasn't as bad as you think it was. That's where we are.
Well, I mean, it's just, again, they had built some momentum, right? Like they had, we always talk about kind of nice to have when you're going to the Iron Bowl this week. And the team that just won 3 in a row, beat Mississippi State convincingly, beat Vanderbilt convincingly, beat Arkansas convincingly. They're one of the hottest teams in the league based on the way this thing's been going. Had close games against Ole Miss and Georgia and all that. And then, you just lay an egg here against, like you said, I don't think a bad New Mexico State team at all, but you just can't get beat 20 by 21 points on your home field at this point again, right? So, yep. That momentum is gone heading into the Iron Bowl, but that's probably exactly where Auburn wants it, right? Like now everybody's swinging back towards Alabama. There you go.
Here's what's interesting about Auburn and the power rankings I keep, which are composite of like 4 and how far above or below average are you. They're right there at 30 between 29 Kansas and 31 Iowa. Now, look, when you dig into that, Kansas and Iowa beating much more impressive teams. I mean, Auburn's best win is take your pick. Arkansas at Cal, probably at Cal at this point. But, that's where we are with Auburn.
Yeah, I mean, look, and remember, this is a staff composite ranking. And so this isn't just Chris and I individual rankings by any means, but like, I do wonder if Auburn, and that's the hard thing is I think people
kind of had to dock them for what happened Saturday.
I think staff, they were docked what happened, but if you really look at it like recently, we're going to get to like 10-9 here, but it's like, I don't know who you take on a neutral field right now. Well, after you just saw what Auburn, see again, this is just a mess here in these parts. Kentucky's 10, but.
All right, but before we talk about Kentucky, I must inform you about BetOnline. The holiday season is off and rolling with NFL in full stride, the NBA and NHL hitting midseason form. BetOnline is your number one destination for all your sports wagering information with up-to-the-minute sports wagering news, odds, trends, and predictions. BetOnline is the top spot for everything pro and amateur sports, and it's not just the Big Four. BetOnline has info available at your fingertips with both desktop and mobile access at any time for almost any sport that is played, from MMA to international soccer. Head to BetOnline today. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that is BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. All right, we're in this mess of teams where it's like, God help us, where we put them. In Kentucky, we landed on you at 10, for lack of a better idea.
I mean, look, let's just go ahead and say it. Kentucky's 10, South Carolina's 9. I know Kentucky has one more win. My guess is, from the staff individual rankings, it was, again, this is sort of, you have to be a little recency, I guess, that has to factor in when you're in week 13. South Carolina just beat Kentucky. I know Kentucky has one more win than South Carolina, but it's like, who knows? So I assume that's why, composite-wise, this is where these two teams landed. So good luck trying to figure it out what to do with them. So
Kentucky's best 3 wins: Florida at Mississippi State, Vandy. South Carolina's best 3 wins: Kentucky, Mississippi State, Jacksonville State. Jacksonville State's won 8 games, for what it's worth. We're splitting hairs here. Nobody's happy at this point, right?
Yeah. All right. Our number 8 fan base is probably not happy either.
No, they are not. But my God, they had Missouri on the ropes until the thicker kicker struck again. And playing with your third quarterback.
Yeah.
I will probably be on an island. I don't think Florida's that bad. I've been saying this all year. I don't think Florida's that off schedule, given what they inherited. I know their fans aren't happy. I know it's a brand name. I know it's Florida, but it could be a lot worse. And look, they've got a shot now to get Florida State this weekend with the quarterback situation, although they're going to be hampered in their own right with no Graham Mertz.
You think about 2 of these games and how different this conversation could be. If they win the game against Arkansas, they win the game at Missouri. It's just, but hey, that's the little margin for error you have in the SEC, and losing both those games now gives you a 4-game losing streak heading into, yes, a Florida State teams without their quarterback, but still a really good Florida State team. So, yeah, not ideal. All right.
Continuing with the disconnect of what you've actually done and what the computers say you are, we get to Texas A&M, which is 14th in the composite power rankings that I do nationally. And again, this is not me. This is not opinion. This is just taking 4 computers I like, averaging them out. And I mean, A&M right there ahead of Ole Miss in the composite. And again, that's based on margin of victory and everything. So do I believe that? No, I'm just pointing that out. And now I'll quit rambling. But before I do, I'll let you know A&M's best win over Auburn. And then after that, really not a lot. I mean, is Auburn anything to get excited about? I mean, this just is. Jimbo Fisher got fired because he didn't win big games, and they had a lot of talent. And boy, what a better illustration than the one I just pointed out to you, which tells you the computers think A&M is a top 15 level team, but then you look at what they've done, and there's nothing to be excited about.
Hey, nice to have a coaching change, and already, I guess, for A&M fans, and still be 7th in the power rankings. So, good job. You're not further down the list. So, all right, we're going to speed through these because, again, there's such a separation at this point, I think. So Tennessee 6, Chris.
Computers continue to love Tennessee. They've got them at 17, but I mean, hey, at least the Vols have beaten Texas A&M and won at Kentucky and beat South Carolina and beat UTSA. That's 4 teams right now that have a chance to get to bowls. A&M and Kentucky are going to be there. UTSA is. So I think that's where you separate a little bit.
Yeah, but I guess we saw the gap, though, between them and
the gap
Georgia
between them and the really
Missouri.
good teams is substantial.
That's the difference this year. All right, LSU 5.
What else are you going to do with LSU?
Yeah. I mean, look, that's the whole – let's just be honest here. Like, this is the whole top 5. What are you going to do with the rest of these teams? Like, this is the order.
You
I don't know.
You have them in a different order unless you maybe wanted to argue Ole Miss and Missouri. But
I don't
think I would based on who they've beaten.
Yeah, we are just going to – Ole Miss is 4, Missouri's 3, Alabama's 2, Georgia's 1. I mean, this is the same top 5 we've had for multiple weeks now. I know Missouri squeaks out the win against Florida, but guess what? They won the game. And they've just found ways to win all year long. And that's what I said. Surely 11 games in, people aren't sleeping on Missouri at this point. Although I feel like some people out there still are. Still don't think they're legitimate. But they played Georgia as well as anybody in terms of what they did there, because we've seen what Georgia's done to other teams. the LSU game, they had a chance. So, yeah, we talk about that margin for error. You think about the way a couple plays go in that LSU game and just the conversation, but still 9-2, breakout year for the Tigers. Now they head to Arkansas. So, and you can have whatever you want, Chris.
That'd be
Alabama,
fun.
Georgia. That's the bottom half of the SEC fighting is what it sounds like in the background.
Yeah, just for note, Georgia's been 1 all year. Vandy's been 14 all year. I think everything else in between has changed.
Is that true? Wow.
I think so.
Right. I think you're right. So, anyways.
All right, I'm going to go sort it out. My son and my daughter.
Yeah.
Welcome to vacation.
There you go. Wrap it up.
All right. This has been our Power Rankings. We are Southeastern 14, presented by Bet Online. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again